thank you for coming in. My name's Midnight. I'm going to be your instructor today. It's nice to meet you. This is Nicole. Nicole has graciously volunteered today to be the model for our hair training session, okay? Now, since you are brand new to beauty school, this is kind of just a quick introductory lesson. Today, we're going to cover some super basic stuff. And we are going to use Nicole to practice, okay? So today we're going to cover brushing and combing. Very, very basic, obviously. We're going to cover a little bit of straightening technique, curling technique, and a head massage technique, since that is offered here as part of our beauty school prices, where people can come in and get things done a little bit cheaper than they would otherwise at a normal salon. And then if we have time, we will cover a little bit of sectioning, parting, sectioning, and just clipping, okay? Alright, perfect. So let's just get started. Nicole, if you are uncomfortable or need to just move around at any time, just let us know, okay? Okay, so let's get started with brushing, okay? So I'm just gonna start by inspecting Nicole's hair, okay? And just watch kind of what I look for, and then I'll kind of go over that. So we're gonna check all around, including the ends. You can see the ends are a bit dry, so we will use some conditioner on them. And now I'm going to do a quick scalp check. For a scalp check, I typically just go with a comb like this and section out. I'm going to just turn you, okay, Nicole? Okay. It's going to turn Nicole this way. So we're just going to section her hair out. And on this side, I'm just going to grab a clip. And we're going to go like that and clip back. And then I'll do the other way, this side of the hair. And then we will just clip. Now you have a very nice view of the hair and the scalp, okay? And I will just go through this way. Use a dry brush on the scalp. This will help you get a good idea of whether there's dandruff or any irritation of any sort. So Nicole's scalp is really, really good health. No issues or dandruff here, so take those clips out. Okay, now that we've done the basic inspection of the hair, we're going to go ahead and start brushing Nicole's hair. Nicole, I'm going to turn you back facing forward for just a little bit. Alright, we're going to go ahead and use some spray on Nicole's hair and just brush it out, okay? And just focus that on the ends, since we know that's what's dry. Then I'll put a little bit on the shaft. Just gonna turn you again, Nicole, okay? So you're able to see what I'm working on and doing here. I'm gonna go in with this brush just so you can see the difference in how it's going through her hair, okay? This brush is kind of a less, it's not as antagonistic towards the hair, and it just kind of flows freely through. That's always really good, obviously, but sometimes you need the other brush to really get the product absorbed. Okay, you can see her hair is very beautiful and soft and healthy now. Okay, so that conditioner did help a lot, you can see. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and just run through this with a comb, okay? When you do the comb, you're gonna just be gentle in case there's any pullage, okay? And I would just turn Nicole as we go. Nicole, I'm gonna turn your head to the back now. Okay, so now you can see that the hair is running very easily through Nicole's. The comb is running very easily through Nicole's hair, which means we're ready to start the style. You will not want to start styles until the hair is ready to work with, like this. Okay, I'm just going to rotate Nicole back around to face us again, okay? You still doing okay, Nicole? Okay. So, let's go ahead and start with straightening, okay? So, first thing you do before straightening is you're always going to want to apply a heat protectant. So we're going to go ahead and apply that all the way around. Now, this will be a rather easy lesson for straightening because Nicole's hair is already straight, but this will still give you a good idea of how. Okay? So, I'm going to go ahead and section out this side of the hair. So just like before, I'm just going to, once I get it sectioned over here, I'm just going to use a alligator and I'm going to section right there. I'm going to turn Nicole back this way now so you're able to see. Okay, I'm just going to redo that clip actually so that hair is just a little more out of the way while we're working. Okay, so we're going to be working with this piece for straightening purposes, okay? What's that? Yes, typically you're going to always want to section the hair when you're straightening. Now, I'm going to run a fine brush through it so we know that there's no tangles. Now, I'm going to show you two straightening techniques today. The first is becoming increasingly popular. That is our heatless straightener. Okay, this straightens without heat, hence the name heatless straightener. And we're going to just use this first. It has these very thick brushes on it. Now, this is going to require the hair to be wet because it's a heatless straightener. I'm going to get the other side as well. So once you spray, just make sure it's worked in. Alright, perfect. Now we're going to start the straightening process. I am going to actually go to this side so I can just show you a little better. I'm going to start with the front piece here, okay? Okay, we're going to start up as close to the scalp as we can get and go down. You're You can slowly take in more hair. There's like, I don't know what the birds are doing outside, but they're loud. Alright, let's just start here. You can see that just flattens the hair. You are able to do this whole section at once probably, but I recommend starting in segments first, as you don't want to get too rushed and not cover all of the hair. Okay. Nicole, we're not pulling your hair, right? Okay. So you can see we have a really beautiful hair there, just really well done. Yes? Great. So we are going to just go ahead, I think, and use the same bit of hair for our straightening. I'm going to use a mini straightener today, okay? You can just flip it on. For these, you are going to want to have the hair separated into pieces like this. You're not going to want to do that whole bit, alright? So I'm just going to start with this piece of Nicole's hair. For these, you're going to hold tightly here and get as close to the scalp as you can without burning. That is a risk with the straightener that uses heat, so just be mindful of that. Just in here. Okay, and then I'm going to actually break this into two pieces. Okay, I'm just going to go over a couple more times. And this is going to depend on how curly the person's hair is, how many times you're going to have to do this. Right here. Right, just like that. Okay. It's going to turn Nicole a little bit this way. Alright. Now, just go ahead and brush that out. Comb that out, actually, I'm sorry. And combing after straightening is really good because you can see how much of the hair is actually straight. You can see how nicely Nicole's hair is actually dividing kind of based off we put water in it, and that's why. Whoops. Okay, I think we're good for straightening. Let's remove the clip. Okay. And we're just going to brush our hair back out again. first we're going to do a little bit of curling. I'm going to just turn Nicole all the way around so you can just see the back of her head only. Oftentimes curling the back of your model's hair, your client's hair, to clip, is the most difficult. So we're going to work on that today. Alright. So I'm going to section out the back, and then we're going to add claw clips. I am going to just have a couple on my shirt here so they're easily accessible. You can do this on your cape because you will have a cape. Center her here. I'm going to start on this side and just part straight down. As you can see right there. I'm going to take this hair on this side. I'm going to just do a light twist. And clip. I'm going to come back here about right here. I'm going to do a light twist. Same thing. And clip. So now we just have the back of Nicole's hair only. You won't have to do this once you get a little bit more skilled with curling, but this will help when you first start out, okay? Just get your sections. And then you'll be able to quickly tackle the rest. Just giving Nicole's hair a nice quick comb. You can see it's no knots at all in this hair. Very healthy. This will make curling much easier for you. Alright? Any questions so far? Alright, good. Now, I'm going to spray with a heat protectant, as you do with any tool that uses heat. Work that in with your hands. We are going to do big curls, and I think we're going to do 3 sections of curl for this hair, okay? Now today I'm going to show you curling technique. So my curling iron is not going to be turned on. I just want you to focus on the technique only. Alright? Alright, we're going to get started. First, I'm going to just section out a bit. About a third of this hair right there. Okay, and you can even do a smaller amount if you wanted to. Just if you're worried about getting started, we can just do half of that, like that much. Gonna want to comb through it. Make sure there's no issues. Okay, make sure it's nice and easy to handle. Okay, this will be our first section to curl. Just like the straightener, you're going to want to get a good hold on the hair, okay? Like about here. And just hold that. Then you're going to get your curling iron and get as close to the hair head as possible. I'm going to start about right there. Any closer could burn her. And again, that's why I'm not using a heated curling iron today. It's turned off. Okay, so you can go this way or the other way if you want. I'm going to go this way. It's easier for me showing you. You're going to pull all the way out to the end of her hair. And then I'm going to slowly wrap the curling iron around the hair like this. Okay, you'll hold it there. Depending on how much of a curl you want, you're going to hold it longer. For today's purposes, again, the curling iron is off, so we don't have to worry about that. But for a good solid curl, curl, you're going to hold about 3 to 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I like to just start pushing on this, and it's going to start loosening like this. You see how the hair is falling out? And then your hair will fall into a spiral out. Exactly. Yes. Okay, so let's do another. I'm going to go to the other side. Okay, so where would you part to start our section? Right here? Okay. We're going to take, obviously that's a bigger chunk of hair than last time, so let's just see if we can do it, okay? Okay, so if you brush this out or comb this out very well, it should be pretty easy for you to do this. Alright, let's try this. So we're going to grip, I'm going to do it the opposite way this time. We're going to grip the hair close as possible. Out. Messed that one up, sorry. And out to the very end. And then we're going to curl in this time instead of out. Just like that. This was going to be a tighter curl, so we're going to hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull down a bit, and then just, and then it will curl. Okay? Alright. How do you feel about that? Pretty good? Alright, good. Yeah, that's great. Okay. So, I'm going to remove these clips from Nicole's hair. I'm still doing okay, Nicole? Alright. So what we're going to do now is I am going to show you some clipping and sectioning techniques. And then we'll do our head massage. We'll finish with the head massage. Okay. So we're just going to brush the hair back out to start with, okay? You would start at the ends normally, but Nicole's hair is not at all knotted, so you can start at the top. Right? Okay, perfect. Very good. So, sectioning. We're going to start out with a couple different sections. I'm going to just turn Nicole back so you can see the side of her hair again. I'm going to start by just showing you regular sectioning. We've done it a couple times already today in this lesson, but you're going to use either this end of your comb or this end. You may be more comfortable with one than the other. I personally like this one, but I still use this sometimes. You can start by just running the comb down the hair like so, and then pulling it aside like that. Okay, you can also use the end and just draw a line down the hair and then pull it that way. Okay, now let's see. When you do that, we can take the comb now and just pull this way. chunk of almost like a bang or a curl. So we'll just do that, and I'm going to just push this out of the way and put a clip in like that, okay? Holding all of that back. Now we can see if the curl was the sectioning was successful when we pulled this side forward. You want to see how straight is that line, basically. So here you did a really good line. See how straight that is? And that is how you know, sorry Nicole, that is how you know that you've got good section down. You see that? Just perfect line. Right. So we're going to remove that other clip. Give it just a quick brush back. And let's just swivel Nicole now. So we are looking at the back of Nicole's head. Okay, now for parting, I'm going to show you if you're going to do like a pigtail or anything that requires a middle part and you want to do a zigzag part. So we're going to just start where the current part is, and we're going to run down just a bit. Alright, we're going to start right there where you can see I've already sectioned to. Then we're going to just go left, pivot back in, right, pivot back in. And then, sorry, I did not do that well. Let's start again. You're going to come down, come out this way, and we're going to go under some hair and kick back in. Okay, there's the first part. You have the first zigzag. Then you're going to hold that, come out here, push this back in, and you have the second part of the zigzag, okay? Now, if you're doing this new, it's hard to hold, so I'm going to just show you with this bit, pull back and section that there so you can continue to see that, okay? And then this way, we're going to put this section here and pull this back over for the end. Okay, now I'm going to take this out and put all of this up so you can see the end results. I'm going to go over here and do the other part, and until you pull all of it over, you won't be able to see it very well. Okay, and usually you would do this a little bit smaller, but if I pull it all the way through, you can see the zigzag. Again, you would usually do smaller zigzag parts. Yes. So, let's now do a little bit of clipping. Yes, so for clipping, we are going to section, let's do down the middle to start. Straight down and over, straight down and over. So there, I don't feel like that's really straight. I'm going to go over top of her head, straight down from this part that I think is pretty centered. And then I'm going to section that way. I don't feel like it's centered well. Let's try this way. There we go. So we'll start there. And then we're just going to put the line down the rest of the hair. A little bit at a time is probably the best way to do hair that's very thick. Okay, so you have it like that. Now, I'm just going to grab this section of hair. It's probably better to give it a little brush so everything is very in line. Don't get any of that in the way. Okay, so we're just going to brush like that. If you were doing a style, that's what you would want to do. You're going to just lightly twist on the bottom half. Okay. And I usually just bring it up and clip here. Okay. And then you have the other side. side, we can do the same thing. Just going to brush that through. Look at that perfect part. Once you've brushed it, a little bit of a twirl, not tight though, up and clip. Now, if you were doing dandruff check or scalp massage, here you could use the dry brush comb and just along the part on the scalp is where you would want to do that, right? You can also use this and just check if you're looking at lice check, dandruff, psoriasis on the scalp, whatever you're doing there. Okay. Great, let's take down those clips. Just do a little brush. Perfect. That's wonderful. That's beautiful. Okay. Let's turn Nicole back around. Perfect. Doing okay, Nicole? Alright, and we're gonna do some clips like that in front. So I have some of these, and I have a few others we can use as well. So a lot of times these are used to keep hair out of the eyes while you're doing a style. If you need that, just take one of these, pull the hair up, and slide. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then same thing here, right here. Just like that. And then you have the hair back. Right. That is a really good technique if you just don't want the hair in the way. Alternatively, you may want to do a style with something like this. Okay. So if you want to do that, you can section a little piece out, and I would suggest about half of this, honestly, about this much. Make sure it's nice and separated from the other part of the hair. Then you can braid it, or you can do a twist. Very easy to do. And pull that towards the back. Then you can take your clip, and you could either use it to put in the hair like so, and then release the rest of it. So you have a nice braid or twist here, and everything else is back. You could also take this, finish the twist. I'm going to turn Nicole's head all the way around now, and make this half of what will be back here. So we've twisted, we brought it to the back, we use our clip, and we're just going to clip it there. Okay? Now I'm going to do this with the other side just to show you. Small bit of Nicole's hair sectioned and separated. Just turn her this way so you can see, and then I'll switch it back. I'm gonna drop that bit. just open up this clip and tuck it right in, and then fix the hair. Okay, you're gonna want to make sure that the hair is coming in on both sides at the same angle, and it is centered in the back, like so. Okay, I'm just gonna turn her to the front now so you can see there's the side view, the front, and then the other side. This is really beautiful, great for something simple. If she's like a bridesmaid in a wedding or anything like that. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna take this out. We are gonna do a quick tutorial on a scalp massage, okay? And then we will let Nicole go home. So I'm just gonna quickly brush out. Always like to start out my scalp massages with a bit of this strawberry oat milk. It's detangling and it's nourishing to the scalp. Alright, once that's done, I'm just going to work this in with my hands. So the first thing I like to do is I like to use just my fingertips to kind of go in and lightly just massage the hair, okay? Or the scalp. So I'm gonna just, Nicole, if you don't mind, I'm gonna just have you look down. Thank you. So as you can see, we're just going to go on the top and lightly scratch. Just want to keep the pads of your fingers. You can use the nails a little bit. If you have longer nails, clients might really like you to use longer nails. You might want to just ask. That's what I typically do. And then I'm able to, because she is looking down, I'm able to go on the base of her neck as well below and just scratch a little bit. You can go in with a dry brush and just brush on the scalp. This can cause some static and such, so just be careful. The client might not want that, but you can also just continue to just section out little bits and pull aside areas to do the scalp dry brushing, like here. That's all good, Nicole? Alright, just let me know if it's uncomfortable or something's bothering you. And then over here we can just do the same. I try to just be symmetrical on both sides. Now, I'm going to have you look back straight up, Nicole. Thank you. And then you can also use this brush and go in a little bit harder on the scalp. It does feel very good. I'll oftentimes ask clients if they want that. Some have more sensitive scalps than others, so just ask. Great, just like that. Now I'm gonna just turn Nicole all the way around to the back. And I'm going to show you how we use this tool. So I'm just going to put it in the hair and work all the way down. Okay. Just want to slowly, just up and down motions, just like you said. I'm going to turn Nicole this way now so you can see me doing this as well. This is typically the tool that we use for scalp massages. And I'm slowly turning her as I get through each section. And you can just do over and over around however you want to do it. Sometimes clients will tell you how they like to have it done. Turning Nicole still. Okay, I'm just going to turn Nicole back, front, and center. I'm going to go ahead and finish off with just one last little head scratch. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and just brush through Nicole's hair one last time before we let her leave and wrap up our session. Alright, Nicole, thank you so much for coming in and being our model today. We really appreciate it. We hope to have you back for one of our future sessions that would be more focused on one of these techniques. Do you have any questions today before we say goodbye to Nicole? Yes, so your future sessions will involve a model, maybe Nicole, maybe not, and we will be going through different hair techniques. Yep, more specialized. This was kind of a quicker overview session. We'll have longer sessions on each of these. Yes. Okay. Well, Nicole, thank you again, and thank you. I will see you again